Okay, good morning. We are at Cafe Collicola in Spoleto in Historical Center, and it is a bar that many modern artists frequented in their day, and then also conceptual artists. This bar, Bar Collicola, is Cafe Collicola is in front of the museum here in Spoleto, which houses art from different periods, and we're going to do a little bit of a look back in time. The piece of work that I'm sitting in front of, because it's the wall and it's got all the words on it. Last week when I was in Rome at the Guggenheim show, the Via Nazionale had the Guggenheim show up, and I bought the book for that show and was looking through other books. I came across this book, which is Conceptual Art, and it's written by the Panza collection, and it's written by an Italian individual who talks about this man who had collected very minimalist art. And as I was going through his book, let's see if you guys can see this, I came across this here, and this is Robert Barry, okay? And it's got his handwritten formula, which is very hard to see, and this is the whole concept of conceptual art. He, Soloet, and a whole bunch of them would write a formula and then declare the name of the formula, or maybe call it Untitled 1984, for example. But then that formula, when somebody executed painting that formula, this is the example, and you can see, it's hard to see the red words here, but on this page, by getting close enough, if we're lucky, you'll see that there are, some of the words are in red. And that was the recipe or the formula. Now let me see if I go to this next page, maybe you can see it better. There you go. You can see that the words are written that are the formula for this art to be executed. And Wikipedia does have a page on Robert Barry. It doesn't say a whole lot, but he was definitely running in that circle. And here is an example in our bar here of one of those pieces. If I understood correctly, Robert Barry was acquaintances and I think a friend of Sol. I'm not 100% sure. I have to get to the bottom of this, because one of the things that's happening here that I'm finding is there's a time warp. It's almost like things have been frozen in time and they haven't moved forward. And that created an opportunity for these little tiny nuggets of gold to be found. Because Spoleto is such a Renaissance old village, and even prior to Renaissance, things don't change very easily. Now, my understanding with this bar is this bar opened about 1987, I think, 1988. Sol had already been living here since 1980s and was making his mark on this village. And then 1962 there was another huge event here, Strutture della città, structures in the city. And this all ties into this magnificent story, and what I'm hoping to do, I'm going to call this number one, the first one of my Spoleto series, because in Spoleto we've got these nuggets. Now I'm going to see if I can turn the camera to this other wall, and right there is a beautiful, beautiful work of art. It's one of Sol's friends. I'll see if I can walk with the camera. Hold on a second. And I still need to figure out who he is, because I can't seem to get the name of this artist, but I'll come in close. Okay, and from what I can guess, the signature is so minuscule. So the other thing I'll show you guys is up here behind me on the wall, up above, you can see those plates, those ceramic plates up there. Those plates were created by Soloet. And at some point in time, I'll do, I've got the camera on reverse, so what happens is the camera's picking up me, but I'll do another video where we do a walkthrough that I can control the camera better. I want to explore all of this, because it's really it's really quite exciting, and because a lot of it is not properly translated into English, and it's not pulled together in an organized way, it's an opportunity for the story to be told, but the story has got to be translated in proper English. For example, this book here that I got yesterday, which is a fantastic book. You know, the first part, they translated it, let's see if I can find it. You know, it talks about all the sculptures, and I'm going to talk more about this because it's just really, it's something amazing. It's really amazing. But it's all written in Italian, and what's written in English, they did a horrible job of writing it in English. Here it is. Okay, for example, like you can see all the words on the outside are in Italian, and this is the English. And then in the back of the book, there's so many chapters that are 100% in Italian that are not translated to English. So I'm going to talk to the museum director, and I want to go back and see if we can't create our own little timeline for how beautiful this opportunity is here in Spoleto with these artists that were from the 1400s, 1450, Filippo Lippi, to 1962 with Calder and all these other famous modern artists. And then there was another resurgence in about 1980 and 1990, and here we're sitting in 2012. So I was born in 1962, on 50 this year, January this year, and this Spoleto, Sculture nella Città, was 1962, and the guy that pulled this whole amazing thing together, Giovanni Carandante, he died in 2009. 2009 is when he died. So he only died like 3 years ago. I want to see if I can but resurrect this whole legacy here. So join me in this series of exploring these phases or periods of art in Spoleto. Ciao.